What is up, guys? It's your boy Ars. I'm back again with another video. After waiting weeks for these to arrive, my Republic Customs order is finally here. I bought several custom clone troopers, and honestly, one of them might be my favorite custom clone I've ever ordered. So let's see if they're actually worth the money. For this video, we are going to take a close look at each and every single one, go into a little bit of backstory, quality, accuracy, whether they're worth buying, and then at the end, we'll rank them from worst to best. All right, folks, right off the bat, we have our first clone. This is going to be Clone Commander Neyo. Honestly, first impressions, absolutely awesome. I'm loving the arm printing. Something I really liked about Neyo, and one thing that made me order him, was his helmet. Commander Neyo's helmet, him being a bark trooper, super unique. I just love that helmet. You know, it's super awesome. Also, the custom pauldron piece or whatever it is, kind of loops around like with the bandolier. Under this pauldron, let me remove the gun here. Under this, where these two straps are, there is actually printing that looks the exact same underneath, which is a really nice attention to detail. Out of everybody in this entire Republic Customs lot, Commander Neyo is probably one of the least known. So a little bit of background on him. Commander Neyo led the 91st Mobile Recon Corps, if I remember correctly, under Jedi General Stas Ali. So he was like a speeder unit. His unit specialized in reconnaissance and rapid deployment. So if you remember Order 66 on Seleucami, Neyo was the clone who pursued the Jedi on the speeder, kind of like moved behind her and, you know, blew her up. All right, folks, so immediately flying into the heavy hitters here, we have Phase 1 and Phase 2 Commander Rex. Republic Customs was kind enough to send me both helmets. First impressions, I put it on Phase 1, mostly just because I enjoy the helmet way more. Honestly, when it comes to the TV shows and animation, I am a much larger fan of Phase 1. However, in live action, not much of the same. I'm more of a Phase 2 guy for that. This Captain Rex is looking absolutely awesome. The double pauldron, one side's a little shorter than the other, just like in canon. Arm printing is sweet. We have our strongly desired waist cape here. The back of the clone looks typical to others, of course. Not much going on under the helmet. They all share the same face for the most part. Have the two DC-15 blaster pistols. Fun fact about those, they're actually considered to be stronger than some of the rifle counterparts. A little bit of background on Captain Rex here. He was the captain of the 501st Legion under Jedi General Anakin Skywalker and Commander Ahsoka Tano. He's probably one of the most beloved clone troopers in Star Wars. This is definitely the one that you know the most. So let's go look at him in this Phase 2 helmet. All right, everybody, so actually I brought in the official Lego Captain Rex from the Captain Rex's Microfighter. This is the same one that came with the Venator. Take a little look at him first. We have the cloth pauldron, pretty cool. We always like some cloth quality items, although it's really big. Kind of covers his entire arm. The DC-15A blaster pistols are not really what they look like. But one thing that I was kind of not expecting was, since I haven't really looked at this, let's talk about Captain Rex in his Phase 2 helmet. Sorry, the lighting's glitching out. So if we look at this, I thought that they were going to be extremely similar, but the Republic Customs Phase 2 helmet on Rex is extremely better. This looks way better than Lego's, like a lot. More tally marks on the head. The welding between the Phase 1 and Phase 2 helmets are like darker, like how they looked in the show. And for the Lego Rex, the welding is like blue, kind of doesn't really look right. I mean, I know it was like blue-brown, but I prefer the darker weld. Overall, the helmet's more detailed. The J guys on the, which the J guys, if you don't know, are these little like spikes on top. The J guys on top of the Republic Customs Rex are way more detailed, way bigger, looks a lot more proportional. And overall, although this one, obviously being produced by Lego, has more of that classic Lego feel, the Republic Customs Rex is perfect, in my opinion, and way more realistic. There is still arm printing. It is quite similar, I must say. Of course, there's not, you know, what else are you gonna do? Of course, it is arm printing. There's not much you're gonna be able to do there, but I think that objectively speaking, the Republic Customs Rex is way better. All right, everybody, next up is going to be our Commander Bly. One thing that I noticed pretty much immediately is that he is a little orange. I'm not going to lie to you. It's more yellow than orange in real life. On camera, he looks like he's part of the 212. In real life, it's a lot more yellow. But overall, with the exception of the colors, let's talk about our commander a little bit. So Commander Bly led the 327 Star Corps under Jedi General Aayla Secura. Commander Bly is arguably most known for the campaign in Felucia, where he basically slimed out Aayla Secura on screen and then they shot her 150 times. That's pretty much what he's most known for. Let's dive back into the minifigure. Arm printing is absolutely sweet. Pretty cool figure, I'm not gonna lie. The rangefinder on here has a nice little detail, has like that little brown marking. Arm printing is more brown. I really like this. I feel like it's pretty like accurate. Attention to detail is pretty nice. And then underneath the helmet here, we are accompanied with a beard and these little green markings on the face. Pretty interesting, might I add. Another thing that I kind of noticed about this one in specific was the inside is like orange, kind of like I know you guys can see that on camera, like the inside's a little bit orange, but it's not a big deal. It's the helmet, so it doesn't really matter. But this one is pretty nice. I really like it. And yeah, the brown waist cape / comma, if that's what you want to call it, and along with the pauldrons are pretty nice as well. All right, everybody, next up we have the Phase 1 and Phase 2 Shadow Squadron Troopers. Now, a little bit of background about these guys is there is no background. These are not canon. They are just really cool looking. There might be some background, some really obscure, maybe like a video game or like a board game or something like that. But these guys are actually so dark that I am currently shining a reading light on them with the studio light on in front of my window so you guys can actually see them. They're very cool in real life. I think they're absolutely awesome. Like I said, I'm more of a Phase 1 guy, even in Lego. Let's move this guy out of the way. This Phase 1 Shadow Squadron Trooper is sick. Let's look at the comma for a second. It's just black with red markings. But the real standout here is the helmet. The helmet, sweet, awesome Phase 1 style, as we already know, with the red visor, which is sick. And like the gray accents with the black is absolutely awesome. Arm printing all around is extremely detailed. There's a small little like remote on the right arm, and then on the left arm, it's just like a little shoulder pad. The printing on the legs is sweet. We have a couple hooks here. You can basically see his boots and his shoes and everything. The back, let's look at this head mold. Let's just look at this head mold, or I guess I call it a helmet mold. Look how awesome this is. Look how pointed the back is. I really love how like kind of, I guess, like dramatic that is. It looks absolutely awesome. I should have pointed that out about Rex earlier, but this is a sweet figure nonetheless. Onto the Phase 2 Shadow Squadron Trooper. Something you might know is the RC on the body. That most likely stands for Republic Customs, if I had to guess. So basically, there's not too much going on here. We have these same kind of like pauldron, similar to Commander Neyo. You know, he has the Galactic Republic symbol on his right arm. There's no printing on the back that is like significant to mention. It's just about the same as all these other ones. This is an awesome figure. I'm really enjoying these helmets. All right, everybody, next up, if you guys can see the man behind the shield, this is the one and only, one of the more popular clones that is not super kind of like fleshed out. This is Commander Doom. Commander Doom is pretty much famous for, you know, just being named after Dr. Doom. Commander Doom served under General Tiplar and Tipley, and one of their most famous strategies obviously involves the sword. I call this the sword and shield maneuver. I don't know if this is the most popular thing, or that's what it's actually called. That's just what I call it. Basically, Doom and other clones line up in a big old line as the Jedi advance while they provide covering fire behind them or in front of them. And overall, this figure is absolutely awesome. This figure is all I expected and more. Let's just take a look at some of the details here. So first thing I want to talk about is the cloth comma. It has the kind of like yellow stripes all around it. Very cool. Arm printing is super unique. Back printing is even unique with like this brown kind of like utility belt on this. The clone front is very nice. The brown utility belt loops around. Let's take a look at the helmet here. Has one of those custom visors. If you guys have ever seen my first Republic Customs video, you guys would know that this is a same mold as the one on my Commander Fox Republic Customs. Super nice. Has the nice little printing detail on the top. Very, very, very nice. The helmet is super accurate. This is an awesome figure, and I think one thing that really does it for me is the shield. Upon ordering this clone, the shield was not in the listing. I didn't see this, and this is awesome. Super glad they sent this over, especially because, like I said, it's lore accurate. The only thing that's kind of missing is like that clear green piece in like the window area. But other than that, this is an absolutely awesome figure, and I couldn't ask for anything more. All right, everybody, last but 1000% not least, we have the man, the myth, the legend, Commander Wolffe. This is an absolutely awesome figure. We have the Phase 1 helmet design as well that Republic Customs sent over as part of the order, but a little bit of background on Commander Wolffe. If you didn't know, he served under Jedi General Plo Koon in the 114th Attack Battalion. The 114th Attack Battalion behind the 501st is one of the most heavily featured legions behind the 212th in the entire Clone Wars TV show. This is one of the most loved legions. One fun fact about like this legion is that on the side of their gunships, there is an Orubesh writing above a picture of Plo Koon on their LAAT gunships. That translates into Plo's Bros. These guys were absolutely awesome. Another thing, Commander Wolffe was not present when Plo Koon got slimed out. Anyways, let's look back into this figure. So first of all, starting on the side, look at this arm printing. We have the Wolfpack symbol on the shoulder. Absolutely sweet. Let's talk about this dual-moded legs. This is something we have not seen yet in this entire review. Absolutely awesome. The gray legs for the boots are sweet. This is a beautiful figure. Let's take a look at the helmet here. This is exactly what you expected. Kind of similar mold to Commander Neyo's, but this is just an absolute beaut of a figure. Looks exactly how I would expect it to. On this other side, we have more arm printing. Looks awesome. This is, you know, I just really love this kind of like Wolffe kind of vibe. Of course, that's like the entire point. Back printing, even more special. This is probably the most unique of the back printing we've seen so far. We have like this little pattern on the top. It looks absolutely sweet. So let's move into the Phase 1 helmet. So generally speaking, the reason I didn't choose the Phase 1 helmet like I have been this entire time over the Phase 2 helmet was because everybody really knows Commander Wolffe like from his Phase 2 helmet more than the Phase 1 helmet. But nonetheless, this thing is awesome. Let's take a look. Looks kind of similar in design, the same general idea, just obviously different head mold, different design. We have the kind of red dot on top with the 3 striped lines on the top right corners. The shading, I guess, is the exact same. So like, let's throw this helmet in right here. As you can see, it's pretty much the exact same design, just on a Phase 1 helmet, but that's honestly why I like the Phase 2. All right, everybody, time for my final review and ranking of these clones. So one thing I wanted to say was I got all these awesome clones for $30 exactly with free shipping. So if you guys are interested in picking up some clones, I would 1000% go to Republic Customs. I could not be happier with my situation. All right, at number 7, I'm coming in with the Phase 2 Shadow Squadron clone. I think that he's pretty cool. It's just, I really like the Phase 2 better. And there's not too much going on. Also, the RC on the torso, you know, I could go without, but it's still a great figure. All right, next up, we have Commander Neyo. I really like this helmet printing. I really like the figure. Like I said, even though I am ranking these at the bottom of the list, this doesn't mean that I don't like these. These are awesome. I love all of them. But like I said, for the sake of the ranking, you know, there's not as much going on with this one as there is the other ones. Still a sweet figure. All right, next at number 5, we have Commander Bly here. Like I said, sweet figure. All I would say is I wish he was slightly more yellow, just a little bit. But overall, sweet figure. I love the brown comma. I love the brown pauldrons. And just like the general, like I said, brown details along with the helmet strip on the visor. Looks sweet. All right, at number 4, I have Captain Rex. This is a sweet figure. I really do love the Phase 1 design. However, like I said, it is a Captain Rex figure. I mean, you know, these are a dime a dozen these days. So that's pretty much the only thing that's holding this back. But I absolutely am in love with this figure. It looks great. I love the pistols, everything about it. All right, at number 3, we have Commander Doom. I absolutely love this figure. This is awesome. This is one of the more unique ones. This is one of the more, I guess, like fandom type of figures. Like people really, really like this guy. I think it's awesome. I love the inclusion of the shield. I love the comma. I love everything about it. This is a great figure. That's why he's in number 3. At number 2, we have the Phase 1 Shadow Squadron Trooper. The way that this guy just looks so detailed, the printing, the comma, the Phase 1 red visor helmet just looks absolutely awesome. He looks menacing. He looks like he knows what he's doing. I just love the vibe of this figure. Absolutely amazing. 10 out of 10. And at number 1, without a doubt, Commander Wolffe. Now, if you guys know anything about LEGO, you guys know that any Commander Wolffe figure is extremely highly coveted. They haven't released one in a super long time, so any Commander Wolffe figure is extremely high value, and that's not the reason behind this. I just love the helmet printing, the way that he looks. This is exactly the vibe, you know, the Wolfpack printing on the arms, the face, looks absolutely amazing. This is my number 1 figure.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know that this isn't our usual lore video. Of course, I have one of those coming out soon. But thank you guys so much for the support recently. We have got to 293 subscribers as of right now. We're looking to get to 300 within the next few days. I really appreciate the support. You guys are my dogs. As always, my name is Arz. I hope that you guys had an awesome day. Peace.